What's happening, everybody? So, the Clippers season is about to start real soon, within 3 weeks. And, you know, I'm just going to be breaking down all the options on what the Clippers could possibly do to just, like, essentially, like, just strengthen the team more, like, overall. Like, not just, like, right now, but maybe for, like, the long term wise of the spectrum. Um, a lot of these takes are just going to be like really familiar takes, and the last one is going to be more like it's going to be more like how like most of the Clippers fan base are saying, and then I'm gonna just like give a bigger dive in with my thoughts about it. So let's just get into the three things that the Clippers could like essentially do like maybe before like um the season starts or everything. So first video, I mean, first take is what I would like me and Cliff Game Don't Bang would definitely discuss behind closed doors is I would definitely look into like trading for as many like draft picks in the 2023 draft class. Like essentially, if we're being real, Clippers have so many shooting guards, man, that some players who deserves to play more minutes, they're not playing like enough of the minutes. So like so definitely like the popular trade is they would like what the Clipper community would say is they would like consolidate some of their shooting guards for like a big man or everything. But I would look in more to acquire some draft capital. Like I would like essentially like try to sell some of our like players that are like that has like a good amount of trade values to get some specific prospects in the 2023 draft class because like man like I just wish that more Clippers fans would be more sold on to try to push an agenda to trade for some draft picks in the particular 2023 draft class because man there's a lot of talent there. Like I basically just made a video just dedicated to that, but I don't want to waste you guys too many time because like I'm just gonna be like I'm it's just gonna be kind of like the same video if I talk any more about this. But yeah, that's just one of my one of my personal like options of what the Clippers could definitely do. But now, um, option number two, like this is more of again like more of my bigger like more of like a my type of opinion is so option two is the Clippers could just basically what, and this is like on Tyronn Lue, and I believe Tyronn Lue should definitely work on being like more like unpredictable with the lineups because like if I'm being honest, like last season, like we were like pretty predictable with the lineups. Like he does do some experiment like some twin tower lineups, but he needs to definitely take it towards like the next level and start unleashing the youth a lot more often. Because if I'm being real, Brandon Boston Jr., man, he was way too underutilized. Like, which probably resulted into some of our main players getting like injured and all that. So what I would do is just like every like 3 games, like if we play like a more like lesser team that is like less good, I would definitely look into just straight up completely like kind of like resting our second unit and use Brandon Boston as a second unit, and then I would definitely just in some games I would just essentially start Brandon Boston, especially when Kawhi load manage. Like I am a big like load management guy. I'm down to like load manage too for like our like vets and some our starters to get the youth minutes because like if you utilize the youth, you just essentially like unlock the potential of the roster. Like Brandon Boston Jr., he provides a lot of stuff that we would need. Like there are so many times when we were needing scoring, but Brandon Boston Jr. was on the bench. There were many times when we could use another guy who could play pretty good defense. Brandon Boston Jr., he was sitting on the bench. Like It's just like if I'm being real here, like the way how Teron Lue like used Brandon Boston Jr., it's definitely gonna be a lot better. Like it was a lot better like how Doc would have used Brandon Boston Jr., but it's still like a felony on how Brandon Boston Jr. is literally not playing as much minutes. Like if I'm being real, he should have played in the plan. Like Brandon Boston Jr., man, he'd be a perfect matchup against like let's just say the Pelicans or the Wolves because they're not gonna know what to do with Brandon Boston Jr. And the Clippers were just too predictable. We just stick with our 11th man rotation. Like we just play the same Norman Powell, Terrence Mann, Luke Kennard and all that, which is, I mean, those are really good players, with all due respect. But if I'm being real, if I'm really, really, really serious about winning, I would play Brandon Boston Jr. Over all these guys because I think Brandon Boston Jr. is a better player than all of them. But does that mean I would just immediately start to bench Terrence Mann and everyone else for Brandon Boston Jr.? Not immediately, but I would just randomly do it. Just every 3 games, just randomly. I would just randomly like just rest Norman Powell, rest like the main veterans, and then just let Brandon Boston Jr. loose, man. Just have fun with the lineups. Just tinker with the lineups. And if the Clippers lose just because Brandon Boston Jr. mistakes, like I'm not gonna be too mad because in my opinion, if when coaches play the youth or like more of their third unit, in my personal opinion, I believe it shows a lot of effort because that means that you're not just relying on your guys to just like you're not relying on your main stars to just simply just win games. You're actually like trying to like you're showing your potential for your coaching skill. And Tyronn Lue, I believe he's a great coach, but sometimes he just uses like the main starters too much because like he gets too comfortable. Like I would just like him to step out his comfort zone, play Brandon Boston Jr. Heck, I would definitely would play Musa Diabate some minutes too because our power forward Batum and Rocco is pretty old and Marcus Morris he's kind of like more of a small forward. So like I would definitely look into playing Moose as well too. And then with Tyronn Lue's coaching skill, he could probably definitely like unlock their potential. So that's just my thoughts for take number 2, and basically the most like talked about take, which will be take number 3, is definitely try to look for like a backup big man, like like aside from Miles Turner, the most popular like person that a lot of Clips fans would want to trade for is Jared Vanderbilt. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm actually convinced that Jared Vanderbilt could be definitely our guy. Like he's definitely has the traits to be a Clipper. He's a really good rebounder. He's a really good like energy bunny. Like he's a very very good defender. He's kind of like a Lamar Odom mixed with some Dennis Rodman because he's strictly like a 6'9" rebounder that plays really good defense. Like he could he's really switchable. He would do all the really dirty work, which is like that's a really big plus that the Clippers could definitely use for our big man position. Like Zubac is pretty good, but he gets put in the wrong situation all the time. Like Jared Vanderbilt, you can't go wrong with Jared Vanderbilt. You could use him for all types of situations. Like you could just use him for a small ball lineup. You could use him for like a big man lineup to an extent because nowadays the bigs are not as like dominant compared to the past. They're more skilled, and Vanderbilt he's the perfect guy to guard the really skilled bigs. Like he could go from playing against the Warriors, but the next thing you could also use him against the Nuggets because Vanderbilt could get on your skin on defense, and Vanderbilt definitely he annoyed the living heck out of the Clippers when we put him in the plan because that dude was grabbing all the boards. And best part is, I don't think it's gonna cost too much to get Jared Vanderbilt. Like I'd consider just doing training like a 2028 first round pick, but I would definitely protect it heavily. Like I would not just straight up trade unprotected picks because I'm pretty stingy when I would trade the draft picks. And and just maybe like, and most if I had a trade player, maybe like a Marcus Morris to a third team just to give the Jazz an extra third capital. But that's the most I'll do. Like Vanderbilt is really good, but you're not gonna convince me trading Brandon Boston Jr. for him is a good idea yet. Like no, Brandon Boston Jr. It's gonna have to take a lot for me to in order for me to say yes. By trading Brandon Boston Jr. is okay because essentially every single circumstances it's not okay to trade Brandon Boston Jr. And if you guys do, I mean, I guess I have to respect your opinion, but it is not, not a good idea. Just not a good idea. Like, but this is just my personal opinions on what the Clippers could really do. So be sure to just leave a comment down below. I'll definitely get with y'all in the comment sections. And as y'all know, have a great day or have a great night whatever time you're watching this video. And much love and take care. And thank y'all really much.